Okay, so we've been dying to talk about the Bruce Jenner interview on ABC with Diane Sawyer. And for those of you who have not seen the interview, please take the time to either watch some of the clips or if you can watch the whole interview, because a lot of people did have criticism, right? People were worried that he wouldn't be the right person to champion this cause, to properly talk about what transitioning is like. And a lot of people thought that it was a publicity stunt, which is now, after you've seen the interview, it is not. Okay, and Bruce Jenner was so vulnerable. This is what Bruce Jenner told Diane Sawyer. So Bruce Jenner did reveal that Bruce Jenner identifies as a woman. And Bruce Jenner said, quote, "It's not that I'm trying to dress up like a woman. It's that I've spent my whole life dressing like a man." And then Diane did ask Bruce, why now, right? And Bruce says, well, Bruce lives a lie. She is not a lie. I can't do it anymore. Bruce also said, when you deal with this issue, you don't fit in. And what I loved about ABC took the opportunity to really talk about what being transgender is like. And they listed statistics, very powerful statistics that stuck with me all weekend. For example, 45% of transgender people have attempted suicide. 50% of transgender youth have attempted suicide, not because they're mentally unstable, as some people once believed. Yeah. Some people at one time calling it a mental illness. It's not in the DSM. It was dropped from being in the DSM because it's not a mental illness. They were born this way. So the reason why they are 10 times more likely than the average to commit suicide is because of the fact that they feel shamed. They feel like, as Bruce stated, they don't feel in. And also ABC listed that we as Americans, 87% of us know someone who is bi or gay or lesbian. Now, as far as somebody that is transgender, we only know 8% of that. So that's why there is a lack of understanding. I think there's a lot of ignorance out there. Also pronouns, right? So now that Bruce identifies as a woman, we should technically be referring to Bruce as she. However, Bruce, this is a little bit trickier of a situation. Bruce did tell Diane that Bruce is not ready to come out with his new name or her new name. Even though Bruce is referring to herself as she, he does not or she does not expect the public to do that yet until Bruce announces her new name. I feel like I want to call Bruce she just because I love that Bruce did. And I just want to say, Bruce, you are wonderful. You are beautiful. You are such a hero. So when you guys saw this, what were your thoughts watching it? Did it exceed your expectations?
I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I did have worries, like a lot of people, about whether or not it was a publicity stunt, just because, unfortunately, you're kind of colored by the family. You're colored by the association, and they've done a lot in the past to just get attention. So it was one of those things that, is this going to prove to be yet another thing that you're kind of doing? And it was, I took a huge sigh of relief to realize this is like a really personal and true journey, and he was really being intimate and vulnerable and showing something, or she, I should be saying she as well. So that was wonderful, I thought. I mean, there's the E! Show that's coming up that kind of gave me a little bit of pause, but I then realized it wasn't about what I needed to do or what I thought was appropriate, just because if that were my journey, that wouldn't be something I chose to do. I kind of had to step back and say, stop judging it, let her do what is good for her.
What do you think, Brett?
There was just this amazingly affable vulnerability. And something that struck me was that a lot of people, when they were thinking about Bruce Jenner maybe being the mouthpiece of this movement, or this movement for understanding, some people thought, you know, maybe this isn't the most serious voice. But then I thought to myself, like, I don't know if the most serious person is always the best, like, option for a movement. Sometimes you just need the most person. And Bruce proved himself throughout this whole interview to just be like a person going through this.
Very human.
You know, all those moments where, you know, he's trying to figure out how to, you know, there's the she. He wasn't a she. There was still Bruce, and then there was this idea of she.
That's why it's tricky to use the pronoun right now, because I want people to know that
she
we are
name,
very
though.
Right. Exactly.
The way that he worked.
That's why his situation is trickier, because I want our audience to know, and I think our audience is so sophisticated. And please, if there's anything that we're saying is inaccurate or we're in your eyes being insensitive, let us know. Educate us. But in this situation, Bruce did say, I would like to be referred as he until I announce my name. Right. That's why. But then I naturally, being friends with a number of transgender people, want to refer to Bruce now because Bruce identifies as a woman as she, but you're totally okay to say he, as Bruce stated, because Bruce is still
And
So
this
transition,
part
yes.
of it, this part of it really is a comment on how well they executed the special.
Thank you.
Because we're able to identify all these things that when you first hear about it, you're like, I don't know how to deal with it. And then it's like, oh, this makes total sense. It might be difficult and take a second to really explain, but we know what it is.
Right.
And the more we explain it, the more familiar we are with that process. Granted, this is just unique to Bruce, maybe.
Right.
So, trying to work
Which is
through
why
that.
I was a little, not offended, I think that's too strong of a word, but when there were people who are naysayers like, I'm not sure he's the right person to represent this, it's like, well, his life is his life. It's his truth. You don't get to cherry pick what, I don't think most people would choose the ideal instead of such a complicated existence of finally being able to embrace who you are at 65 years old.
Yeah.
Right, and Bruce talked about that. Bruce talked about the fact that she knew from a very early age that she was trapped in a man's body.
Yeah.
She would try on her sister's clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
And she felt confused, and that through life, even throughout her marriages, because she was attracted to other women, she's still attracted to other women, but in her marriages, she would try on the other people's clothes. She tried to transition. She attempted transitioning in the 80s and then lost her courage because of the fact that she remembered, oh my gosh, how's this going to affect my children? Yeah. And I'm a public, speaker, and so she put her own self-being aside, and now finally is able to do that, which is incredible. And I love the fact that, too, the ABC had a number of different doctors come on there and talk about the fact of what it must be like to be transitioning and what it must be like to be a transgender. And I love that one doctor, Johanna Olsen, said, genitals don't equal gender. No. Genitals don't equal gender. So the more that we collectively can embrace that and accept that we are all born, certain ways, and that genitals do not equal gender, the more that hopefully people can have, as Bruce said, an open heart and an open mind, and people can just accept people for who they are. I can't imagine what it must be like for Bruce or for anybody that's transgender, because there's still such a lack of education out there, which turns into, for some people, discrimination.
Yeah.
It was such a comprehensive appraisal of what this is. And what was amazing to me is something that the probably best approach to it came from Kanye West.
I know.
And I was like, Kanye, honestly, Kanye's lyrics can be so profound, but they can also be so stupid.
Incredibly stupid.
And then you think to yourself, what he said is something that I remember. It was very simple. He's like, Kanye said, to Kim, he said, I can have the most beautiful, perfect wife, which I do, and the most beautiful, perfect child, which I do. But if I can't be myself through all that, it doesn't mean anything.
No, you're not going to be happy.
It's just like Kanye.
Yes.
10 points for Kanye.
Yeah.
And I draft Kanye to my team.
Amen, Brett. Yeah. But I did love seeing that every single one of his kids, every single one of them, including Chris, including Chloe, they all tweeted so much support. Yeah. They were so proud of Bruce. They called Bruce their hero. I'm so glad that we had this conversation. I would hope that we keep this unfiltered and raw, because I think that we brought up so many different points, and I know that our viewers will continue to bring up points, so please continue to do so. Keep the conversation going. Please watch the interview. Please, please, please. If you have an opinion and you have not watched the interview, refrain from stating that opinion until you watch the interview, because I promise you it is such an important interview. And kudos to ABC, kudos to Bruce, and we will see you guys all next time on Pop Trigger.